Oh, see a little thin line that will never be just mine. What a creative small thing. It can twist and twirl and sing. La 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 la. It can make waves big and small and be wound into a ball. It can go zig and zagging. For tricks it is not lagging. Oh, you see a little thin line? It can be shaped like a pine or drawn to a triangle and sometimes get quite a tangle. Stretched to form a rectangle or look like a right angle. Don't feel like this is a sign because it's just a little thin line.
Hi, it's art time again. I hope you're as excited as I am. Today, if you haven't already guessed, we are going to focus on the elements of art, line and shape. So in my little video, you saw how line pretty much starts all of our artwork. When we sit down and start to draw, we use line to create the simple shapes that then turn into our drawings. There is one type of artwork that does not require line, and that type is abstract art. Sometimes abstract art might focus more on something like color, because it could be paint, a little bit of this color here, a little bit of this color here, a little bit of this here, and it doesn't actually have lines in it. But some abstract art, like Piet Moderen's work, focuses heavy on the use of black lines and simple colors. Or you could think of Sol LeWitt, who creates these optical illusions with his artwork and a heavy use of line. So that is why line is one of the elements of art that I like to focus on when we're looking at the elements of art towards the beginning of looking at the elements of art. So we're reviewing our elements of art right now. We started with color last time that we were together, and we made our first couple pages of our art book, and they were talking about color. And now our next couple pages are going to look at line and the simple shapes that line makes. And then after that, we're going to look at a different element of art in our next segment of this art book thing.
What you will need for today's project are the pages that are in the description below as a PDF printed out. They say, I learned there are lots of lines, and these lines often start our artwork. And then the next page says, lines are used to create shapes like these. You will also need the art book that we started during our last episode about colors, 2 pieces of paper, scissors, a glue stick, and something to color with. I will be using my colored pencils during today's video, but you may use whatever you would like to color with. I will also use a black pen, but that is optional, and you could just use a black colored pencil or a black crayon. So, without further ado, let's get started. Last time we created this book that says, I learned there are 3 primary colors. They're red, blue, and yellow. And then we also completed the pages that say, and when those colors mix, there are 3 secondary colors, orange, purple, and green. Today, we are going to create our art on the back of that page that says there are 3 secondary colors. It's going to be on that back of that page. That's going to be our first page right there. We're going to put, I learned there are lots of lines. So grab that first page that we did last time and get that out of the way so we don't mess it up at all. We will only be working on there are 3 secondary colors, the back of that. First, we need to cut out I learned there are lots of lines. So remember, just loosely cut that away from the paper so you don't have as much paper to work with. Then you're going to try to cut off the dotted line. And I like to do this by cutting straight and then cut that extra paper just straight off. Then we put that on a little scrap pile and we can continue cutting. The great thing about doing it this way is you have less paper to deal with. So I again cut the dotted line off and cut it straight off. I don't turn the corner like that. But no, instead I'm going to cut that paper straight off and put it on a little scrap pile to be thrown away later. Now I'm going to again cut straight on that dotted line and cut that off and put it on a little scrap pile. I don't want to turn the corner. And then I only have one line left. This keeps your cutting much neater, keeps your scraps in one place, and helps you not to lose pieces. Now get the extra pieces out of the way and grab yourself a piece of scrap paper to put glue on. You want to make sure that you can put glue all over the back of that piece of paper that you're gluing. It says, "I learned there are lots of lines." Then rub it down real good. Cover your glue, get your scrap paper out of the way, and your trash paper and your other items to cut, and we're going to start drawing. Now the first thing I'm going to draw is a line, and you do not have to follow me. Here I am going to draw several lines just to make a fun design out of lines. You can draw lines of any size or shape or color, but have fun and draw a fun design. I'm going to kick it into my super high speed mode so that you don't have to spend so much time watching me create my random line design. I'm just about finished, and now you will need your piece of paper, fold it in half like I taught you last time. Match up the corners, press down the center, and then you will need the piece of paper that says, "And these lines often start our artwork." And then you use your scissors to cut again. Next we will need to glue, so grab that scrap paper again, turn over the paper you want to glue onto it, and use your glue. Put it all over that paper that you are wanting to glue down. The scrap paper is there to keep your desk clean. And then you glue down the paper that says, "And these lines often start our artwork." Now I'm going to draw an artwork on this piece of paper that is going to be heavily based on line. You may draw whatever you want. I will again kick it into super high speed mode, and you get to see me draw kind of fast, and then you get to decide what you want to draw. And that finishes it for that page. Now our next page is going to be on the back of this page. So on the back of "And these lines often start our artwork" is where we will do our next page. We're going to need lines are used to create shapes like these. And you just do your rough cut first, and then you start cutting off those dotted lines nice and neat. Next, we're going to glue that down, so grab your scrap paper again, put glue all over that side really well, and then you're going to flip it back over, lay it on your book, and press it down. If you have some corners that are sticking up, just remember to put your glue right under the edges and stick it down. You don't want any corners sticking up. Now, before we move on to our next page, let's get the other one that we finished out of the way. Grab our last paper and fold that one in half. So if you remember, I said we needed 2 pieces of paper, so this is the second of the 2 that we needed. We're going to lay that right there. Then we're going to grab those shapes. We will cut these shapes out, so just do a nice loose cut to cut them each apart. And then you want to cut the dotted line off. Neatly cut. Remember, put your scraps on a pile and put your shapes on a separate pile. Now you can work on arranging your shapes however you would like. Lay them out from biggest to smallest, or try, putting them around the text. Or you have this page with the words on it and the next page that is blank right now to arrange these on. I kind of am thinking that I'm liking some kind of like stair step effect, so I lay mine out where I want them, And then I'm going to take one off at a time and put glue on the back. But first I was getting my scraps out of the way. So now I'm grabbing some scrap paper, my glue, and I'm going to pick up one shape at a time, put glue on the back, and press it back down. Now you could grab your colored pencil or your crayons, markers, and just start coloring in one box and then the next and have just solid colored boxes, but that's not very fun. So just like I did in the last video, I'm going to add hats and arms and legs and smiles and eyes to these guys and make them little characters. I'm using the same types of hats that I did in the last video, so you can repeat the designs that you did on your last characters. Just pull those characters out and look at your hats, and you can redo them, or you can do something completely different and make this all fun and new and different. It's really just up to you, and I hope you have fun designing your shapes into fun little people or whatever you choose. The only thing that's left is sliding the pages that we created before and open so that we can slide our new ones in. So we have our two colored ones open, and now we slide in our new one with the shapes inside. And I did not glue down that little circle in the middle on purpose because I want to wait until I have my book all attached. So that's why that one's loose. Let me go through those again. So first we have the primary color page, and then if you turn it, it should have, and when those colors mix, there are 3 secondary colors. Then the next page should say, I learned there are lots of lines. And then our last page says, lines are used to create shapes like these. And then next time we are together, we will do 2 more elements of art in our art book. Thanks for creating with me.